Please welcome our next speaker, Yawer Iqbal, a solutions architect. Today he will be presenting RPA with Desktop Flow. Please stick around after Yawer's session for a live Q&A.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining today us at DynamicsCon. Before I proceed, I want to say thanks to organizers of the event, everyone involved in from DynamicsCon, and all volunteers. Really appreciate. Without that, community can progress further. And let's begin the session. My name is Yawer Iqbal. I'm presenting this introductory session about robotics process automation with Desktop Flow. I can easily divide my session into four segments. In first segment, I will discuss a few basic things like what is RPA, its benefit, understanding of RPA market. In second part, there will be some discussion around what services or products Microsoft offers to provide RPA based solutions. And as a third part, there will be demonstration of some bots and Power Automate desktop, and of course, as in last there will be demos, and that will be the area where I will be spending most of my time. I guess before proceeding, it will be a good idea if I quickly briefly introduce myself. I live in Melbourne, Australia with my family, and I work as a software architecture and consultant. On my daily basis, I'm working with Microsoft technologies, particularly Power Platform, Azure, and Microsoft 365. And I'm actively involved in community as a blogger, as a speaker, and also as an event organizer. That is it. And before proceeding next, I will say this is a community event and I will encourage everyone to get involved. Please let the community know today what we are doing together. And for this, please use hashtag DynamicsCon with any of social media platform. And of course, by your valuable questions, you can drop your questions in question box, and we can I will keep looking, and on the way we'll address those questions. Let's begin the topic. Let's begin topic by addressing a very basic question. What is RPA? RPA is basically a type of automation, and its program or executable is called bot. We said RPA is type of automation. Then generally any curious mind will wants to know what is difference basically between standard or generally automation and RPA. With general RPA, general automation, basically it works with APIs and events. And the difference with RPA is RPA don't deal directly with APIs. Rather, RPA deals with user interface. So whatever we are doing, whatever automation happens, that will be from application to application using user interface. Another since previously I mentioned bot, so RPA's executable are often called bot. A common question and a common thing I have heard is many times people feel maybe RPA is something about AI. We though we can use artificial intelligence with RPA, but in its core, RPA is not something relevant to AI. So just thought to give a little clarification on that. What is basically RPA? RPA bot is simply a program or a software that can record user actions from user interface and repeat them. The only thing is those actions needs to be. Let me open my laser pointer so I can keep pointing as well. Those processes needs to be defined. Without those being defined, implementation of RPA bot becomes a little difficult, and that bot or execution of that process then can be done with human interaction or without human interaction. So in short, RPA is a program or software that have capability to record user interface, and from there it basically repeat those steps and perform things automatically. Generally it is said RPA should be used when APIs are not available, but I think this is much an umbrella sort of answer, and that needs a little elaboration. RPA can be used to solve any business problem when APIs are not available for any reason. And among those reasons, classical is when we are dealing with a legacy system where APIs are not available or not can't be developed. But there are a few other reasons as well. We might be using a service or an application that we are using, but we don't have control over it. Similarly, a few times requirements are so much dynamic, and developing APIs is not a feasible idea. And another reason a few times can be cost of developing APIs, and last but not least is skill required to develop APIs. So these are all a few reasons when we can consider to use RPA for automation. But saying that, it is not basically something to replace APIs. It is just a tool which we can decide when to use, and when we have correct opportunity to use RPA to implement and solve a business problem. RPA benefits, among RPA benefits, leading is its economical benefits. By leveraging RPA, user can keep working with existing infrastructure and applications and do automation. Another another benefit in terms of economical merits is doing a repetitive work using a RPA board is much cheaper than if we compare the cost of the same thing being done by a full-time employee. So that is the leading benefit. Another benefit is its availability. RPA boards are available 24 by 7, and since RPA boards can be triggered even without human interaction, it means even if system is locked, RPA board can execute and do its work. Since for RPA implementation, we must have a reasonably defined process. So process improvement is another benefit that business gets. And overall, by with implementation of RPA boards, there happens less errors. So combined with all other benefits, RPA help delivering better customer services. With that, let's discuss a little about RPA market at the time. As per this survey, this report was published by Gartner. As per this report, by the end of last year, 2020, RPA market volume was around 1.6 billion US dollars, and prediction for 2021 is market volume will become approximately 1.9 billion dollars. There are at the time 50 plus RPA tools available, but some of these tools are open source, a few of them are free, some of them are vendor specific or even niche specific as well. Even though we have many tools available, since here my presentation is about desktop flow, I will discuss what are a few benefits of using Power Automate Desktop for implementing RPA. First of all, it is easy and rapid to use to do RPA using UI flow. It is rapid. It is easy and rapid since Desktop Flow is part of overall Microsoft ecosystem. And if you have been working with Power Automate, you know there are a lot of possibilities. Power Automate alone has capability of connecting to almost any system. So overall, you can imagine possibilities are unmatchable. There are a lot of possibilities to do. And RPA bots can be executed as attended or unattended. Attended will be the way of execution which I will be demonstrating. Unattended will be when system is even no user is logged into system. RPA bot will be from cloud flow will trigger that, and RPA bot will logged in securely to your system, perform its automation, and after that securely logged out. So that is another benefit. Next, I'm discussing what Microsoft offer in terms of providing RPA solutions. Last year, Microsoft acquired Softmotive, which previously was another popular RPA vendor. And based on their tool, which was Win Automate console, Microsoft launched Power Automate Desktop. And but this is not the this is recent offer from Microsoft, but this is not the only offer which Microsoft soft have provided to use. Earlier version of UI flows or RPA is still available as version 1, but guidance is to use Power Automate Desktop for RPA implementations. Looks like that will be the area where Microsoft will be doing further work and investments. To set up Power Desktop, there are a few things which we need to do. With RPA bots, we can record the steps and do automation with desktop, and also with web-based application or browser. A common requirement to create both bots for both type of application is to install Power Automate Desktop. But for web-based application or browser-based application, there is an additional requirement, and that requirement is we will need to install a browser extension, and that browser extension is available for all modern popular browsers. So that will be another step. Third step in terms of setup, which we will need to do is we will need to install and configure on-premises data gateway. On-premises data gateway will enable triggering of a desktop flow from cloud flow. So it depends if we need if our implementation involves triggering of RPA or our bot from cloud. In that case, we will need to configure on-premises data gateway as well. I know these are a few details, and for doing first time setup can take a little time. But the good thing is Microsoft's documentation to do initial setup is really comprehensive and up to date. I have added a link here. I will avoid discussion further how to set up, otherwise we will be losing time. So please follow this link, and if there are any questions, I am available. And even later, you can follow me if I can provide any help. With that, let's proceed further. Next thing is licensing or pricing about RPA. RPA is available as an add-on feature on top of Power Automate, and its standard add-on, which is per user, is available in $40. With $40, it allows within a single user can create unlimited RPA bots under the limit of their resources. And if we need to create unattended RPA bots, which are where user is not available, and even bot log in securely to system, complete its work and log out. For that, another add-on is required, and its price is $150. And for further details, I have added a link here. From this link, we can find and get the updated details about pricing. With that, I think I'm done with my slides. I will first explain what I'm going to demo. This basically demo is about connecting or doing automation from cloud to a legacy app. And the scenario is on my machine. I have designed a legacy app which is command prompt based app, and it will be I will be connecting it, doing some automation from cloud. Scenario is I have here a dedicated mailbox. That mailbox receive emails from with attachments, and that attachment will be in PDF form, and that will be a order form having some order details. Here, Cloudflow will basically start its execution, pass that attachment to AI AI Builder. AI Builder will extract data from those attachments, send the data pieces back to Flow, and all this part is happening in cloud. Next bit starts when that data will be transferred to local console app, and for that data will be transferred to Desktop Flow. Desktop Flow will start execution and pass the data pieces to command prompt application. Command prompt application will do its job and then respond back to desktop flow. Desktop flow will signal back to cloud flow execution is done, or pass any uh, flag or relevant data. And from there, cloud flow will basically send an email back, sending order details. I know it may be a little overwhelming, but once I start demo, it will be good to go. This is the attachment which I mentioned, and this attachment have some order details. We can see it has some basic. You might be finding my product is a little funny. I have ordered 50 horses, but just imagine these are toy horses. With that, I will send email to my other mailbox where I have configured my flow to start execute. Okay, I think I don't need to put any subject. Let's send the email. Now, for almost for 1 minute, we will need to wait because execution will be happening. Email will send to the other mailbox. From there, it will trigger, and email attachment will be passed to AI Builder. Builder will be doing data extraction, passing that data back to Flow. From Flow to it will come to Desktop Flow, and Desktop Flow will trigger the application. And sometime in a minute, you will find it will start happening on my machine, and hopefully we will able to capture and see execution. So execution has started happening. RPA has loaded my legacy app, and data coming from attachment. We can see that that data is being automatically populated. If you see my mouse cursor is not doing anything automatically. Data has been populated, and after that, it has closed the application as well. On completion of this, I expect it will send me a confirmation email. I just want to wait and see if I have received that confirmation email. That email is basically not something fancy, just have some details about what was ordered. Yeah, it is just loading. Yeah, it just have copied whatever was entered, all the details. Of course, in a commercial project, that email will be a little more in better format. But let's move on with this one for now. That was the end of my first demo. Let's go to the second demo. Second demo is a RPA board that will automatically go to a few service providers and grab from their websites currency exchange rates. And this is a particular scenario which I referred in when I was displaying my slides. A few times we are using a service but we don't have control over it. So this is exactly a scenario when we are using a few different websites, but we don't have control to develop APIs for those websites. Similarly, that is such a requirement that may be changing rapidly. In one time, we may be using a website, and next week we might start using a different website or a different service for getting rates, currency exchange rates. Further to that, in this scenario, what I'm going to do is I will go to three different websites. First of all, I will go to search engine. I will go to Bing and type here currency exchange rate from Australian dollar to Pak rupees. Bot will do interaction, and further it will just copy whatever rate is coming here. Second part will be it will go to another service provider's website. Here, I can see like rate exchange rate is displayed under the middle of table, and I have recorded that bot will go here. Whatever rate is coming here, it will copy this rate. Third service provider. Okay, so here it will be bot will select the put the correct currency amount, and source currency is Australian dollar. Further, bot will come here, press this button, and type here my target currency, which in this scenario will be Pak rupees. Click here, and after that, this web page will load with exchange rate, which will be displayed here. Bot will copy this rate, and with that, bot will put all these details, all three different rates, in an Excel spreadsheet. That will be the demo. Let's start execution. My Power Automate environment desktop flow is here. I will just run it and make sure everything is ready. Yeah. Okay, let's start execution of second demo. I have created this bot here, and to show its execution, I already have opened this bot here. So I will start it, trigger its execution. It will take maybe a couple of more seconds, and yeah, we can see bot execution just has started. It is opening browser, open search engine. It is going to type my query, move to next, and copying the rate here. So this is now board is under execution. We can see from browsers as well. It is opening different tabs, copying data we requested and recorded before, mentioned before, but also we can see how board execution happens. I know I'm not sitting in front of you, but believe me, I'm not touching. It is happening automatically. So now here it just changed the currency amount, changed the target currency, and now execution is in last part where I'm adding these details into a existing Excel spreadsheet. I think from my taskbar you can see just Excel spreadsheet had popped on and then closed. So execution is complete. Let me quickly see if I can find. And yeah, so this is Excel sheet where execution happened, and as per we can see it just have happened recently. And if I open it, I can see with my date timestamp it has recorded data. It has missed for search engine for some reason. that might be something I need to look at later, but we'll proceed with further demonstration. That was end of my second demo, and with that, let's in remaining a few minutes, I will quickly demonstrate the desktop power desktop environment. So this is my Power Automate desktop environment when we launch it. And if we need to create a new flow, one option is here. And we can also create from web portal from Power Automate. We can create desktop flow from there as well. And if we go further, maybe let me go to, and from here I can go and edit a bot or create a new one. Let's open it, see how editing and bot steps are. I just want to demonstrate a few things about environment. If you are getting started, what are a few things can help you and just understanding of environment. It is just loading, probably just a couple of more seconds. If we see now, this is the area on right side which say variables. Flow variables are variables which are created automatically. This environment creates. Input and output variables are variables which comes from cloud. So if you recall my first demo where execution started from cloud, in those sort of scenarios, here under input and output variables, I will have variables. So these variables we can add here and access from cloud. This area, this band says actions. These actions are different from Power Automate actions. These are specific to Power Automate desktop environment. They basically do different things. For example, we can create variables, do a few things with variables, a few programming concepts for them, like for loops, for wait. We have actions. Similarly, for accessing different systems, if you recall, run application, I have used that in my first demo where I was executing my legacy app, and even we have run JavaScript, run PowerShell script, run Python script. A few options are here for doing file operations, for copying, moving, deleting files locally. We have actions. There are a few, but I will skip some of them. For web, we can download something from web. UI automation is where we go to a website or a application, click somewhere, copy data, these sort of things. Excel is another very interesting category. We can open, close Excel spreadsheets, put data, delete, these sort of things. I guess we don't have delete. Yeah, but we have ability to add data and read data. And this list keep going. Uh, Quickly, I will just redo this bot just to demonstrate how easy it is to create a bot. Basically, I will look for launch a web browser. Launch, maybe I will launch Edge. I have selected here. I will need to set a couple of properties. Under this action, I will need to set a couple of properties. Here I can set what will be my initial URL. For this scenario, let's say it will be google.com, and I can set window state. Should it be normal, maximum, or minimum? I will. I'm saying it should be maximized. Save it and run it. Just with that, it will open the browser and load the web page. Yeah. As per that, it has done. Now we can do one more thing. If you see, there is a button, say web recorder. If I click that, and whatever interaction I will do with my browser, these steps will be recorded. So I will demonstrate that now. Okay. Now next I need to tell which browser web recorder should record steps from, and Microsoft Edge is selected. I'm pressing next button, and after pressing start recording, okay, now that recording has started. Let me, maybe I will type a query here. Power automate licensing. Let's see if it brings some numeric value, and I will try to read that. No, this one. I can't see anything. Or maybe let's do some other query. Uh, Australian dollar to US dollar. Okay. This time we have a numeric value, and you can see still my recorder is running, and it is basically recording the steps I'm doing. So I just have moved here. I'm just right clicking and copying this amount here. And if I bring back my recorder window to shared screen, you can see whatever interaction I was doing, it has automatically generated a few steps. I will finish it. Okay, so this is the other demo. Let me close it. So this was the recorder I did. I will just display the data we copied from search results. There is another action which is message box, display message. I will put this price here, this number here. This value is coming under this variable attribute value. I'm just selecting it, pressing save button, save the bot. Once it's saved, I will just run it and we will see it's. But before that, I think let me close this window. Bot has started execution. It is going to search engine typing the query which I was looking before. You can see all it is repeating all those steps. It just have typed the initial query. Okay, there is. Let's try to build a bot and see how these steps work. In my existing bot, I will just clear its steps, delete these steps first, and what I want to do is just launch browser here, and okay, here it comes. I'm going to launch a new Edge browser. Under Windows state, I'm saying it should be maximized. And in URL, let's type a search engine for this. Save it, and I will run my bot first, and we'll add a few more steps further. Okay, we can see as per instruction, bot has launched this browser tab with provided URL. I will now explain one more thing here. If you see, we have a web recorder button here. If I press it, and whatever interaction with that tab I will do, those will be recorded as part of my bot. So I'm going to say web recorder on. Here I need to tell which browser basically it needs to be recording. In this case, it is Microsoft Edge, so it is selected already. And this is web recorder window. Uh, Here I will press start recording. Now, whatever steps I will do, this recorder will record, and those steps will be repeated. I'm going to say Australian dollar to US dollar, and it has brought currency exchange rate again. What I will do, I will copy this rate here, and that is it. You can see before I finish my recording, you can see here it has automatically added a few actions, and when I finish it, I will able to see these actions in my bot. So these things has happened automatically. I will just save it. And one thing I think we can do is display that rate in a message box. That is my result here, and this is my title, and save it. Okay, before proceeding next, I will close my existing open tabs just to avoid any errors, since I'm not doing a lot of error handling at the time. And let's start execution. I will press run button. We'll need to wait a couple of seconds. It just has launched the browser. We can see site is there. Hopefully it will type the query now. Okay, looks like there is a error or an issue with browser. Let me quickly have a look. Click link. Okay, there is an issue with that. One more thing to explain is with all these actions, we can configure different settings, like on error how it should be responded. So here I'm saying on error, maybe retry the action, and in advance there are a few more things which we can set, but we will skip that for now. And continue run flow, save it. Let's run it again. Execution had started this time again, and hopefully we will able to proceed. Okay, I think that error is still there. In that case, I will skip that because it will take a little time. I will skip it for now, and let's conclude the remaining part. So these are my actions. They will appear here, and we can adjust different settings. For example, clicking on any of these, we can see which browser instance it is and which UI element it is attached to, these sort of things. And again, yeah, for if we are working with a desktop application, that will be desktop recorder which will start recording. That is pretty much it wraps the my demo part of environment. And with that, I will conclude my slide, and after that we'll take if there are any questions. We discussed that as a part of demo. And again, these are my contact details if you want to connect. And I want to say thanks to everyone. Thanks to Dynamics Cone, all organizers, supporters, volunteers, and, and any person who has supported this event. And now we have time to take any questions. I'm available. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for sparing time. I hope you are enjoying Dynamics Con so far. Now we have time, we can take any questions. Please drop your questions if there are any in chat box. And just to explain, meanwhile, since we all speakers are have joined live these sessions, but these sessions were recorded previously, and by chance licensing details have changed after that. I will quickly explain what changes has happened. As per new licensing, first thing which Microsoft has announced on Ignite is desktop automation will be available free. A few things are not clear about it, but a few other licensing changes are now attended RPA bots we can create with our standard flow license, which is $40, and for unattended one, we will need to buy a add-on, which is we will need to spend $150, $150. I have a question again from John. Um, have you ever done a project where you use Power Automate Desktop to crawl a website for significant number of fields and presume if the layout of the site changes, you would need to upgrade the bot? John, I have not done a similar project, but based on my learning and in like as far as I have explored, it is a little challenge. But one thing is we need to keep in mind, basically over recorder, it works with element ID of user interface. So for example, if you are interacting with the with a field, our bot will be basically interacting its name, or it can be with ID as well. So that is a little issue, like if UI change. And even with my demos, I have experienced this. I prepared something for demo, and it changed after a while. So that is a little issue. And unfortunately, other than changing or updating bot, I'm not aware as of now, like if there is anything we can do. The thing is, it since we are dependent on another party, so best bit will be if there can be a way we are updated what change has happened. I think that can help. So if they have done any UI changes, they may be affecting us or breaking even bot execution. So on this spot, over like the way we configure bot and handle errors, those things will be helpful. Thanks. It was great question, John. And often, frequently, people and Jonathan just has asked. I saw $40 per user pricing. Is there also per process pricing? I thought that I saw that mentioned in Power Automate Desktop announcement. Uh, John, actually, I'm not sure about it, but about this one, because there are flow-based licenses as well, and we can quickly see if there are any details available. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any handy information about your question, but I will certainly come back, and I hope we are connected. Even if we are not, please stay in touch. And since these about licensing, a few changes has happened very recently on Microsoft Ignite, so a few things are we need a little further clarity on that. And based on documentation available, I'm not able to as per my current knowledge, I'm not able to answer this question. Apologies, but I will come back on this. And often Often people want to know about some resources if they want to learn more. I want to mention one resource which is from Microsoft, and that is RPA in a day. Microsoft has published some exercises and a little a little assignments to just learn Power Automate Desktop more. In chat, I'm dropping link for that package. And just also I want to mention I'm working currently on a community course which will be a little quick sort of help just to get started with Power Automate Desktop. Hope it will be available very soon, in maybe by next week sometime. Please be in touch if we are not. Another question which often asked is, do we need on-premises data gateway for building desktop flows? Actually, for I want to explain here two things. On-premises data gateway is not required for building desktop flow. It is only required for when we want to expose our local resources to cloud. For example, imagine a situation we want to execute our desktop flow from cloud flow. In that situation, probably certainly we will need on-premises data gateway, but generally for creating desktop automation for bots which are dealing with just with desktop, we don't need that. And without configuring data gateway, we can start doing automation. Another bit which is also attached to recent licensing changes. Microsoft has announced it will be available for free and free for Windows 10 users. But still, since we need to download it, and I was just checking last night, we still needs to provide our email address, so which is associated with Power Automate license. So this is another area which probably will change in future. My expectation is, and that is just I'm just sharing my feeling. I'm not uh, I don't have an insight from Microsoft, or but my feeling is probably maybe this requirement will be removed in future, and users will able to create chatbots which are just sort of desktop automations without any requirement of putting license email. So, but if you are starting it, a workaround is just create a trial flow and get started with it. And if someone has, I will love to know if someone has tried Power Automate, what thing they have used it, and what sort of tasks they were doing to automate. Please share if you have experienced anything or a particular scenario which you have used Power Automate Desktop for. I will see if there are any more questions meanwhile. Okay, looks like no more questions are coming. A couple of more things, important things when we are starting RPA. One consideration is the error handling and how we manage, like if our automation flow is broken. So that is something we can configure. I explained in session as well. We can configure over steps for that, and based on steps we can analyze which particular actions needs to be maybe thrown error, and which particular actions needs to be retried if there is a error. So those things can help. And yeah, another thing which I really like about Power Automate Desktop is it is not just a low code or no code environment to create automation. We still have a little room to inject code. So that is something something really nice, and it helps when we want to go beyond the limitations and want to do something uh, more, which don't come under the umbrella of just low code or no code development. That is, by the way, that is another interesting thing with RPA. Often consideration is maybe RPA is just a low code product. Basically, it is just a way of automation. That is right. Modern RPA softwares offer automation in a low code or no code way, just by doing configurations and drag and dropping some actions or controls. But still, there is a way, and there can be situations when we may need to uh, get help from a developer coder or use some code. Please feel free. I think we still have a couple of minutes. If there are any questions, I will. Okay. Jonathan, thanks. That's great question. Jonathan has said Business Center includes free sandbox pricing, which could be used for practice and learning. Is there will be something similar for Power Automate Desktop? Yes, Jonathan. First thing is, just imagine like Power Automate Desktop is part of Power Automate, of course. So for learning, in terms of licensing, we can start with trial. And I hope, as I mentioned, in future there might be in next versions there might be some differences, and they may be there may be not a requirement to put our licensed email or user for which that product is licensed. But this is something we are not sure. It will be, we will get clarity maybe in a few weeks or shortly. But and I hope this question has another aspect, that is environments. If you are with almost all Power Platform products, we have a concept of environments. And what environment is, basically it is just a way of grouping things. So under your license, we can create an environment. And I think I'm aware it, within one user we can create multiple environments. So one way of handling this will be, we can create a separate testing environment where we can play, where we can do our learning or experimental stuff. But other environments can be for real work or testing and similar to prod. And this way we can, even within one license, we can have different environments, and all those environments will have separate connections. So this concept of solutions and environments, that is something helpful if you are new to Power Automate. uh, Environment is just a sort of a way of segregating our development environment from other environments in cloud. And I think if I will try to maybe show quickly. I will just need to open my Power Automate account. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I hope it is visible. this is my flow environment, and here we have this area which say environments. So here, yeah, here we can create different environments and segregate our learning or non-prod environment from prod. I think that was all. Thanks, Jonathan, Jennifer. Thanks everyone. It is really helpful. And yeah, please feel free and get in touch. I will be more than happy to assist if I can help in anything. Yeah, please connect if there is anything I can assist further.